Good evening. It is Wednesday, March 25th, 2026, and it's time for Animal Stories, sponsored as always by Smiling Dan 2. He's in the stream. Fan him up when you see him in the stream if you have not done already. This is Animal Story number 264. Here's the headline. Ned is a perfectly nice snail, but a rare shell means a doomed love life. Ned is a perfectly nice snail, but a rare shell means a doomed love life. Now, this does have to come with a warning. This is the first time in Animal Stories history where the story is going to be rated R. We are talking explicit sex in this animal story. Here's the story. Dateline Wellington, New Zealand. Ned is a perfectly nice snail. If he had a dating profile, it might read, good listener, stable home, likes broccoli, seeks love. But he's already exhausted his local options, and it's not because he's picky or unappealing. Instead, he's a common garden snail with an uncommon anatomical problem that's ruining his love life. Ned's shell coils to the left, not the right, making him the 1 in 40,000 snails whose sex organs don't line up with those on the rest of their species. Unless another lefty snail is found, the young gastropod faces a lifetime of unintentional celibacy. That dire prospect prompted a New Zealand nature lover who found the snail in her garden in August to launch a campaign to find his perfect match. But Ned's quest for true love, perhaps predictably, is slow. Gilson Clarkston, that's her name, was weeding her home vegetable patch in North Island in New Zealand when a snail tumbling out of the leafy greens caught her eye. Clarkson, the author and illustrator of a nature book, The Observationalist, has an affection for snails and has long been on the lookout for a sinistral, or left-coiled shell. I knew immediately that I couldn't just toss the snail back into the weeds with the others, she said. Instead, she sent a photo of the snail, pictured alongside a right-coiled gastropod as proof, to her colleagues at New Zealand Geographic. The magazine launched a nationwide campaign to find a mate for Ned, named for the left-handed character Ned Flanders in The Simpsons, who once opened a store called the Leftorium. That explains the male pronoun some use for Ned, although snails are hermaphrodites with sex organs on their necks and the capacity for both eggs and sperm. When you have a right-coiling snail and a left-coiling snail, they can't slide up and get their pieces meeting in the right position, Clarkston said. So a lefty can only mate with another lefty. Let's see some pictures. All right. Here is Ned crawling across a leaf. Kind of feel sorry for him. And Ned with a right-coiled snail. You can see the two of them there. And another one of, let's see, Ned is here at the bottom, pale-bodied compared to the darker body of the right-coiled snail. And this will be our 1, 2, 3 picture today. 1, 2, 3. Oh! I don't know how well you can see that. I'm recording this in the afternoon. There's bright sunlight coming in through my window. I found some backup information. Ned is the current one, last year and this year. Jeremy was discovered in 2016, 2017, a British garden snail who became famous globally as a campaign called #SnailLove was launched to find him a partner. The lefty problem. Because their genitalia are on the left side rather than the right, these snails cannot physically align with typical snails to mate, requiring another left-coiled partner. Scientific significance. Researchers, such as those at the University of Nottingham, are deeply interested in these snails, as studying them helps understand the genetic mutations that cause this rare asymmetry. outcomes, while Jeremy, from a few years back, did eventually to manage to produce 56 offspring with another lefty snail before he passed away. It was a long journey that involved him initially being rejected by other lefty snails who preferred to mate with each other, according to Smithsonian Magazine. I just read them, folks. I just read them. I don't make this stuff up. And that is the Animal Stories for Wednesday, March 25th, 2026. Sponsored, as always, by Smiling Dan 2. Fan them up when you see them in the stream. We'll be back to the best music on You Now in just a minute.